Hi friends! Welcome back to our channel if you've seen our videos before, and if you are new, my name is Abby, and this is the Disney Sisters. Normally I have my sister right there. So today my friend is Madame Leota. You having a good time? That's what I thought. So today I thought I would do another bookish video. I've done a couple of these in the past and you guys have seemed to like them, so I thought I would do another one. It is October, my friends, and we all know what that means. It is Halloween month, and I know some of y'all really love Halloween, so I thought today I would do a spooky reads recommendations video. Some of my favorite creepy, mysterious books to read around Halloween time that I have enjoyed in the past. I've got 5 books to share with you today, and then 2 books that I'm going to tell you about that I want to read this Halloween season. Let's get started. Gonna be honest with you guys, I think there's only one book in here that's not a middle grade or a YA, and that's one of the ones I want to read. It's not even one that I've read. I'm a wimp, so I don't like spooky, scary things, generally speaking, so all the books on this list are the exceptions to that. They're the books that I enjoyed despite them being spooky. But if you're looking for books for your kids, or for you if you're like me and you just don't like scary things, or if you are a middle grade reader, whatever you're looking for, these will be the good Halloween recommendations for you. So the first book I'm going to talk to you about is one of my favorite books ever. That's The Seer of Shadows by Ave. It's a ghost story, and I don't necessarily believe in ghosts, but I love this book. This is set in 1872 in New York City. We follow a boy named Horace Carpentine who is apprenticed to a photographer. The story begins when they are hired by Mrs. von Mucht, a wealthy woman, to take a photograph of her so she can leave it on her daughter's grave. Strange things start to happen. Horace sees things appearing in his photographs that weren't actually in the room, and things start to go missing, and just all sorts of things start to happen. I don't want to spoil the ending for you, but it's pretty crazy. This is, like I said, one of those inexplicable favorites of mine. I first read it when I was probably 13, 14, and it blew me away. I just really love it. And it's super short. It's a little over 200 pages, so it's a lot of impact in a very small amount of pages. So, I definitely recommend this one. Another kind of interesting factoid about all of these books, most of the ones, I think all of the ones that I'm going to talk about, the first time I read them in like a day or a day and a half. They were like super quick reads for me, and I think that happens a lot for me with scarier books, just because either I want to get them over with, or I'm just like freaked out and I need to know what happens, and this was one of those books. This is The Night Gardner by Jonathan Auxier, I believe is how you say his name. This book freaked me out so much. We follow 2 Irish orphans who are seeking work at an old mansion. Everyone they encounter on the way tells them not to go to this house because it's cursed or it's just creepy, and when they reach the house they find it is part house, part tree. There's this big creepy black tree that's like grown into being a part of the house. So they meet the family, and they are all they seem to be decaying. They seem really sad and broken. So the siblings try to figure out what's happening in this house, why are these people getting worse and worse every day, and what is going on, what's the story with this mysterious man who's walking the halls at night. I didn't realize how Halloween-y it was until I was already halfway through it and couldn't stop. I read it in a day. It sucks you in, and it will not let you go because you want to know what is happening in this house. And Hope can attest to this. I was sitting here on this couch reading it, and you hit a point at about 60% where some plot points come to light and you realize what's happening, and I was like, chills were running down my spine. It was so creepy, it was so disturbing, but it was also wonderful and fast-paced and interesting, and I wanted to know more, and it is definitely one of my top recommendations as far as creepy books go. Whether you're an adult or a kid, I think it is great. The next book that I want to talk to you about is Hangman's Curse, just Hangman's Curse by Frank Peretti. This is a library copy, so that's why it's so shiny. Let me try not to reflect the light into you. This is a book that I read when I was 14, and it was one of the first kind of creepy, spooky books that I had read. If you're like me and you like a little more light and hope in your spooky stories, this is definitely one for you. Frank Peretti's a great Christian thriller author. I haven't read any of his other books other than these and the Cooper Kids books, if you know those. I reread this yesterday because I knew I was filming this today, and I wanted to just like restart it and remind myself if it was as good as I was remembering. I read it in 6 hours. I couldn't put it down. I couldn't stop reading because I remembered generally what had happened, but I couldn't remember for the life of me who the actual culprit was behind the mystery. In this book, we follow the Springfield family. They have been hired by the government to investigate strange occurrences because they are Christians and they look at it from a different viewpoint. But not only are they Christians, they're just great investigators. They're doing like a really good job in this book investigating things. So they're called to this high school in Oregon where football players have been going insane, where they've been seeing visions of this ghost called Abel Fry, and no one really knows what's going on, and they're wondering if there actually is a ghost, and so they've basically come in to prove that there is not a ghost, that it is a human who is doing this, and to figure out how and why. And they uncover all of the dirty secrets of the school, and it's just really, really great. Again, it's not super long because, I mean, like, look at this font size. It's pretty big. It's pretty big font size. It's a young adult, I think, officially. It's almost 300 pages, but it's excellent. I really enjoyed rereading it, and I kind of am thinking now I should watch the movie. So if I do, I will vlog it and insert the clips right here. Alright, so it's currently 3:12 in the afternoon, and it's really bright outside, and I've got my snacks and my Halloween popcorn bucket and poo, and I am ready to watch The Hangman's Curse. There's not a "the" in front of it, it's just Hangman's Curse. I don't know why I keep saying The Hangman's Curse. It's just a habit, I guess. So, hopefully I don't get too scared. Well, I'm sufficiently freaked out. I hate spiders. I hate spiders so much. What are your thoughts, Miss? I don't want to be on the camera, but I'm watching the movie anyway.
I don't know what to think.
It's very made in 2003.
Yes.
It's pretty obvious. The fashion, the way they talk, it's pretty funny.
We're on the suspense right now.
Yep. We'll see how they wrap this up, because they changed some of the big plot points from the book. So, curious to see how this is gonna end. Update! We finished the movie! Yay! It changed a lot from the book, which I kind of expected, but not so much with this one because of the way it was written. I thought, you know, like there's not much they could change, but they changed quite a few things. The book is definitely 100 times better. But it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Hope's looking at me like, what are you talking about? That was terrible. It was very 2003 and pretty outdated, but it wasn't too bad. Okay, Hope says do not recommend. I can't recommend it, but it was a fun time. Oh, also Frank Peretti made an appearance playing Algernon, which I thought was really fun. Back to the original video now. Definitely recommend this one. It is excellent. The next book that I want to talk to you about is one, if you're not as much into like action action thriller type spooky stories. This is a very slow burn book, but it is Lost Boy by Linda Newberry. We follow a boy named Matt who has just moved to a new town in Wales so his parents can start a bed and breakfast and bookshop, and that just sounds like the most wonderful place and I want to go there, but that's not what this book is about. This book is about Matt. Matt is riding his bike one day when he runs into a tree, and this tree has on it a roadside shrine memorial type situation that has his initials on it. This understandably freaks him out, and he goes into more research about the boy named Martin Lloyd, who was actually killed there years ago. His friends believe that Old Man Will Jones had something to do with Martin Lloyd's death, and Matt is determined to figure out the mystery and why he keeps seeing Martin showing up in his everyday life, why he's hearing Martin's voice in his head, why he's seeing this ghost dog that's wandering around, what happened to Martin Lloyd, and what can he do to fix it. It's set in Wales. I don't know that I've ever read another book set in Wales, so this was really interesting to see that perspective. I read this last year at Halloween time, and I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I read this one as well in I think a day and a half, because it's just under 200 pages, so it's really short. The way that it's woven is really well done. You're not really sure what's going on, you're figuring it out as Matt is. I really enjoyed the eerie, kind of haunting feel of this story, and look! It's like the same color scheme as Madame Leota. That's just a fun fact. So yeah, I definitely recommend this one if you're in the mood for a short, kind of eerie, Halloween-y story. And the last book that I have to recommend to you for these Halloween-y spooky reads is another Avi. This one is School of the Dead. In this book we follow a boy named Tony whose uncle moves in with his family, and they kind of form this weird bond of friendship. Is broken when Uncle Charlie passes away. But it is not eternally broken, turns out, because Tony starts seeing Uncle Charlie in his everyday life. Tony is transferred to the Penda School, which is in this old house that has many, many mysteries. A student has recently gone missing at this school, and Tony wonders if maybe Uncle Charlie's ghost has something to do with it. It was just really fantastic, and I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend it if you're in the mood for a spooky school story. Okay, so those are the 5 books that I wanted to recommend to you to read this October, this Halloween season. So now I'm going to tell you about a couple of books that I want to read this time of year. So the first book that I want to read, I've heard amazing things about. I'm super excited for it, and that is The Screaming Staircase by Jonathan Stroud. This is the first Lockwood & Co. book. This is set in an alternate London where ghosts are walking around, but they're only visible to young people. We follow Lucy Carlisle, who teams up with Lockwood & Co., which is a group of young people who are determined to go and get rid of these ghosts, and I don't really know much more other than that, but I know that I have heard amazing things about it, and I am very excited to get into the world of Lockwood & Company. And the final book that I'm going to talk about is a classic that it's actually, I think I heard this book is having its 200th anniversary this year, which is super cool, and that is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And I've been looking forward to Halloween time because I wanted to read it in October because I feel like that's the perfect time to read it. This is a story that's been retold and retold multiple times, and I'm excited to read the original and see what it's actually like and what I think of it. So there you have it. I hope that you found some books to spark your spooky mood this month. And if you've read any of these, let me know what you thought. Have you read either of the ones that I'm going to read or hoping to read? And what did you think of those? Just talk to me in the comments. Tell me all the bookish things. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below for more Disney and bookish magic. And I will see you next time. Bye! I don't know why I get so much more awkward in these when I'm by myself. I don't. This one next, I believe. I think if I was going to give this book a description, an old blah, 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 blah.